As for her husband, I first met him at a party in a warehouse. We quickly bonded over shared interests, drugs. We both enjoyed coke and music, especially techno. We became friends. Like me, he was a wealthy idler, so we often spent long, drunken nights together, experimenting with various substances. From powders and pills to candies laced with hash and chocolate. About a month later, I saw her for the first time. My new friend mentioned that his wife would be joining us soon. She arrived at the restaurant. Beautiful, slender, a young blonde with long hair and striking blue eyes. Her ancestors, he said, were Kuban Cossacks. She sat across from me and ordered a coffee. Her hands were trembling, and she stuttered slightly as she spoke. I remember thinking, what a beautiful wife he has. But there's something oddly nervous about her. Later, she told me,
when I first saw you, I started shaking all over from excitement. You made a powerful impression on me.
A couple of weeks later, we were partying at my place. The three of us. We drank champagne, did some powder, popped a blue pill each, and smoked some weed. At one point, my new friend, her husband and I were lying on the floor, while she, under the influence of the psychotropics, started to dance. She was wearing my short red shorts, the ones she asked for after taking a shower, and my beige blazer. The techno music was loud, rhythmic yet melodic, with floating bass lines and airy. 3 small laser projectors filled the dark room with red, green, and blue dots, painting shifting patterns across the ceiling and walls. She moved to the beat, her body swaying and slowly revealing more of itself as she danced. Later, she told me,
when you two were lying there and I danced in front of you, I had this strange, overwhelming feeling as if I had 2 husbands.
Caught in that intoxicating atmosphere, I turned to my friend and said, "You've really taken our parties to the next level." He looked back at me and replied,
"I'm afraid I may have just opened a door I was never meant to open."
What happened next? Of course, we ended up sleeping together secretly, behind the back of her husband, who also happened to be my friend. Later, I took her in, along with her 2 small children. Then he took them back. And then I took them again. That's when the trouble started. Russian gangsters, connected to her husband, came after me. They beat me. I signed over my apartment. Eventually, I landed in prison, and when I got out, I had nothing. No home, no income, just silence and the consequences. First, what inner needs or fears drove each of the participants in the conflict? Me, I fell in love, and her attention flattered me. Our age gap was, as she once playfully put it,
20 years, 1 month, and 5 days.
I felt her affection, yet I noticed inconsistencies in her behavior. But as lovers often do, I chose not to analyze and instead idealized the object of my desire. She even said, "I want to have your child." That inspired me. I decided to build a future with her and her 2 children. Back then, I loved playing the role of a family man. We traveled around the island, strolled through the city, bought groceries, met friends. I loved hearing her say over the phone,
"Come home, I made soup, we're waiting for you."
And I'd drive back feeling I finally had a family. That was my deepest need. To be wanted, to be needed, to be awaited. But family life is an illusion and often a bleak endeavor for a man. A man must fight his own internal battles and balance himself. Adding a constantly dissatisfied wife only deepens the dissonance. She was tired of her incoherent husband. He always drank lightly but daily, even in the morning. Lately, drugs had joined the mix. He grew jealous and aggressive and started hitting her. Then she met me, a spark ignited, and she envisioned a better life. She took a chance and moved in with me. And now, a word about him. He was truly my friend. It was so sincere that, as an example, I'll recall a conversation we had just before our falling out. We were talking about the purchase of an S-Class Mercedes. He had decided to buy a newer model of the same class, and planned to sell me his W221 on an installment basis. Despite being 8 years old, his car was in immaculate condition. We went together to look at the new car. He liked it and decided to make a down payment. Then he turned to me and said,
"You know, brother, I don't want to take your money. As soon as I pick up the new Merc, I'm going to give you mine as a gift."
But he didn't make it. Instead of his car, I took his wife. Cars were a recurring symbol. He tried to win her back with a Maserati, I with a Lexus, bought on credit. He became the victim. His emotions toward me shifted from friendship to hatred. And when a man loses his family, the shame before others and himself justifies everything. Second, what moments in our behavior made everything inevitable? The crucial moment is banal. It was my first intimate encounter with his wife. It was the culmination of drunken games and provocations. Who provoked it? He did. Who fell for it? I did. She, perhaps, was simply confused and lost in her emotions. But these are just surface-level causes. Looking deeper, I realized that it was my own dissatisfaction with a comfortable yet empty life that led me to sabotage everything. Third, what changed within me through this conflict? My worldview, feelings, understanding of life. Clarity came only with distance. As they say, you see the big picture from afar. Only later did I realize how fragile everything in life can be. I never imagined that I could lose my apartment or even the opportunity to stay in the country. My transformation, I've stopped being sociable. I no longer seek new acquaintances. My view of women changed drastically. I used to idealize them, now I see their earthly essence. They are mothers, rooted in the material world. In many tongues, mother and matter spring from the same root, a subtle reminder of origin, substance, and creation, and those who play too much with matter lose. Yet women, no less than men, are known to stumble when emotions take the lead. Money, it's disappeared from my life. Now I only spend what I borrow for food. But the moment money reappears, I know I'll start spending again. I care little now for clothes or gadgets perhaps. It's age, or maybe it's wisdom. Fourth, do I feel forgiveness toward myself and others? Yes, I forgave him, her, and myself. It didn't happen overnight. It took silence, reflection, pain. At first, I thought forgiveness meant betraying myself. But later I understood. Resentment ties you to the past, while forgiveness sets you free. I no longer hold anger toward them or myself. I even ask them for forgiveness, whether or not they'll ever hear it. Because forgiveness isn't a transaction, it's an act of inner release. When I forgave, I let go of the weight. Weight didn't vanish, but it stopped guiding my path, and that was the beginning of returning to my true self. Fifth, is there hope or light in this story, or is it just an experience to be accepted? Nothing in this story can be restored. She is now endlessly searching for the real man. He is on the fast track to self-destruction. All of us live in different countries, and each of us, in our own way, is unhappy. Now, with time, I realize I wasn't walking toward love. I was fleeing my inner emptiness. I craved warmth, belonging, the feeling of being alive. But I built it all on illusions, dependencies, and escape. Everything I had, I lost not because I lacked direction, but because I lost the reason to keep going. This fracture wasn't just between people, it was within me. I stood in the crack between desires and reality, between dreams and truth. Today, I am no hero, no sage, no saved soul. I am simply a man who survived, who learned that no external love, no money, sex, or passion can replace inner peace. I lost much, but I found the most important thing, the truth about myself. And if someone listening to this story stops in time and doesn't fall, then none of it was in vain. Because sometimes, the only meaning of a fall is to show someone else where the abyss lies. To all, may your days be filled with goodness and inner peace.